Hey there, Resident Evil fans! With the recent reveal of Capcom's development on the Resident Evil 2 remake, everyone's been asking the question, what will they remake next? Resident Evil 3, Resident Evil Code Veronica? The Resident Evil 2 remake isn't even out yet, and Capcom fans, in classic fashion, are doing what they do best and pushing their opinions on the dev company with all the games they want remade. Let's face it, if Capcom did continue remaking Resident Evil titles, of course Resident Evil 3 would receive the next remake. Why? Because unlike Resident Evil Code Veronica, it actually carries a number in the title, marking it as the official third game in the series. Get over it! But this did have us all here at GameSomniac thinking, should Resident Evil 3 be remade? No! Hey dudes and dudettes, I'm Derek with GameSomniac, and today we're asking the question, should Resident Evil 3 Nemesis be remade? The answer is clearly no. Now, before we go any further, it's time to slap a big old disclaimer on this video.
Disclaimer!
This video is not in any way bashing the Resident Evil 2 remake. I know everyone's very defensive about the Resident Evil 2 remake, and if you say nobody is, then you clearly don't belong to the Yuri Resident Evil fan group on Facebook. Resident Evil 3 Nemesis was my first Resident Evil game ever, and it was unlike anything I had ever played as a kid, which by the way, I was like 9 when I played it, and next to Clock Tower, it was quite possibly the scariest game ever at the time. There was tension around every corner, every door you opened made your mind race with the possibilities of what was hiding behind it waiting to kill you. For me, Resident Evil 3 Nemesis is the perfect survival horror experience and the best game in the original trilogy, possibly even the series. Stay calm! Remember the disclaimer. The amazing thing about Resident Evil 3 is that it was created by an underdog team of developers and not the elite team who worked on the first two games. Now granted, this team didn't have total control or creative freedom over the project, and they did have to have their work checked and approved by the original team, who at the time began work on Resident Evil 4 as Resident Evil 3 was in production. Now according to Resident Evil 3 scenario writer, this guy, the intended game was loosely set on a luxury cruise liner and had a general plot where Hunk was attempting to bring back a sample of the G-Virus that was featured in Resident Evil 2. However, Capcom realized that the game would not be complete in time for a PlayStation release due to Sony's announcement of the PlayStation 2, so the project was cancelled. Now Capcom also didn't want fans to have to wait some years for a new game, so the company promoted one of its other projects as the third main canonical game while Kamiya's team moved on to Resident Evil 4. Eventually we were given the Resident Evil 3 we all know and love today, and for that we thank you, Capcom. So as impressive as the Resident Evil 2 remake is, and it is impressive, don't get me wrong, it's only natural that people would practically beg for the third game to be remade next, but here is where I feel the need to roll up a newspaper and smack everybody on the nose.
No.
Resident Evil 2 is probably the most successful Resident Evil title, and definitely the top fan favorite of the series. So much so that fans demanded it be remade, and now it is. Obviously screwing this up would cause Capcom some great backlash among the fan community, possibly crippling Capcom so badly you'd think it was Konami. Now, it's very unlikely they'd continue remaking the original Resident Evil games, but money is a very powerful thing, and if there is a major profit in the remakes, then I'm sure Capcom would be willing to give it a go. My problem is, Resident Evil 3 is the black sheep of the series. Capcom didn't give a shit about it when it was being developed, and they clearly don't now. Remember Resident Evil Operation Raccoon City? How about the Umbrella Chronicles? These games both horribly recapped the events of Resident Evil 3, and it was piss poor at best. Umbrella Chronicles turned Nemesis into a fucking robot. And Operation Raccoon City had a very young bimbo-esque character model for Jill, instead of the mature Jill Valentine we all know and love from Resident Evil 3. We know Capcom doesn't think much of its female characters, so this isn't a shock to me. But I want to know what the hell their problem is with Carlos Oliveira, because both games turned Carlos from a Latino American into a white guy. And it doesn't stop there. Let's look at the Resident Evil movies for a second, because we've got Oded Fair, who's an Israeli actor portraying a Latino American character whom the Resident Evil Wiki lists as Caucasian. Carlos is such a badass character with hardly any character development, and you can't even get what we do know about him right in any of the mediums. My final reason why Resident Evil 3 should not get a remake is because the fans won't be happy. Capcom fans have a horrible, dreadful, no bueno reputation for demanding one thing and then bitching about it the next. Honestly, I believe Capcom is a company that wants to do right by its fans and tries listening to its fans when it comes to making games, but every time they do, it comes back to bite them in the ass. There are fans out there who still haven't accepted the fact that Resident Evil 3 is the real Resident Evil 3, not Code Veronica. Every forum site or Facebook group I turn to, I always see comments about how Capcom should remake Code Veronica instead of Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, since it's the true sequel to RE2 anyway. But please, allow me to shed some of this harsh reality on you, because first off, if Capcom appointed Code Veronica as the third game officially, it would have been terrible, because RE2 has possibly one of the worst and most boring endings ever. There was no resolve! We would have had no idea what the hell happened to the rest of Raccoon City or any of the other survivors. Resident Evil 3 delivers that resolution, making Resident Evil 3's ending pretty significant to the series, so you're welcome. In closing, ladies and germs, I do propose one thing. Instead of a remake, let's remaster Resident Evil 3. Let's take the original PS1 source code, let's remaster that bad boy, we'll update the graphics, update the controls, but we'll keep everything the same. My biggest fear is that they'll do to Resident Evil 3 what they're doing to Resident Evil 2, and I just don't want them to recreate some half-ass, piss-poor reimagining of a perfectly good horror title. But if you remaster the game instead of remaking it, everybody wins. You get updated graphics, updated controls, because everybody just wants to see Nemesis and Jill in the RE engine. That's all they want. So update the graphics, but keep the story the same. So guys, girls, ladies, germs, dudes and dudettes, thank you for clicking on this video and sticking through it with me here. That's it. See you later. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the video, please share it with your friends, family, your grandmother, even though she's catatonic. Leave a comment below. Let me know what your opinion is on the video. If you agree with me, if you don't agree with me, I'd be happy to hear your opinion, maybe discuss it a little bit further. Check out our other videos on our channel. We've got tons of content ranging from gaming parodies to video game trailers, upcoming releases, the whole shebang. We got fun for the whole family. There's something for everybody. Just go ahead and click on our profile on our channel there, and then click the videos tab and you'll be able to find everything that you've ever desired. So until next time, guys, I'm Derek with GameSomniac, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye!